Greetings. Welcome to another edition of Counterpunch with Trevor Loudon. We're busy exposing the unfolding communist revolution in America and around the world. Please like the show, share the show, and most importantly, please subscribe to Counterpunch. That will give you the best access. You'll see information here you'll never find anywhere else. I can guarantee you of that. Now, in July this year, the US House of Representatives set up a special committee, the House Select Committee, to investigate the January the 6th attack. By that they mean the so-called insurrection that happened on Capitol Hill after Trump's speech, when the election was still undecided, where people genuinely thought that Trump could still be president and Biden would be proven to have lost the election. Well, it was a chaotic event. You know, the end of it was a chaotic event, but it paled into insignificance compared to the Black Lives Matter rioting that we'd experienced for months, where people were killed, billions of dollars worth of damage were done by Black Lives Matter, which is essentially a front for the pro-Chinese communist organization Liberation Road, previously known as Freedom Road Socialist Organization. So we don't see any investigations or House committees into that escapade, do we? Now, how objective is this going to be, this committee, which hopes to finish in the spring of 2022 and present its findings? Is it going to be an honest assessment? Is it going to talk about possible false flags and agent provocateurs? Or is it going to be used as an excuse to clamp down on conservatives, Trump supporters, etc. in a midterm election year? Well, if you look at the composition, the leadership of this committee, one would have to have some suspicions. It's 7 Democrats and 2 Republicans. The Republicans, Liz Cheney from Wyoming and Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, are both militant anti-Trump representatives. They are very proud to be anti-Trump. We all know this.
We do move on from has-beens and from losers, and Donald Trump is a loser. He lost the presidential race.
Now, the Democrats, we're going to profile 4 of these people, the most important ones in my opinion. The chair of the committee is Denny Thompson, the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House of Representatives, the man in charge of the people charged with keeping this country safe from terrorists and bad elements. Now, if you look at Denny Thompson's history, it's a little bit problematic. For example, as a young man, he was a local body politician, a local government politician in Mississippi, his home state. He was a supporter of several Marxist groups during that time. He went to Washington for a conference organized by the Democratic Socialist Organizing Committee, the predecessor of what we now know as Democratic Socialists of America. In 1982, he served on the National Coordinating Committee of the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. This was a Communist Party front group set up to protect Angela Davis, a Communist Party member who had been in jail as an alleged accessory to the murder of a California judge. And Denny Thompson was right in there. In the early 1970s, Denny Thompson was a very active defender and supporter of the Republic of New Africa. This was an organization founded in Detroit by black radicals. They were Marxists. They followed the old Communist Party dream of the 1920s. Their aim was to create a black socialist republic in the southern United States by force of arms if necessary. They were involved in several violent incidents with the police. They killed several policemen. They were regarded by the FBI as a bona fide terrorist organization, but Denny Thompson supported them vocally on several occasions. He called for the police to stop persecuting these people. He defended their violence. This was a bona fide terrorist communist group, but Denny Thompson was okay with them.
This was not done in the case of the Republic of New Africa. They are charged with obstructing justice. This, I believe, is an attempt on part of law enforcement officials to stop the Republic from building its community.
In 2013, the former Republic of New Africa leader, I think it was their vice president, a man called Chokwe Lumumba, became mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. He was elected with the help of Freedom Road Socialist Organization, a pro-Chinese communist group. The goal was to make Jackson, Mississippi, a center of revolution, and it has become such. The new mayor, Chokwe Lumumba's son, Chokwe Anta Lumumba, claims that Jackson is now the most radical city on the planet.
We've made the decision that we're going to be the most radical city on the planet.
And again, this was all organized with the help of Freedom Road Socialist Organization. Denny Thompson personally endorsed Chokwe Lumumba. Denny Thompson's legislative aide, Sonaris Green, was actually put on Chokwe Lumumba's transition committee. They were that close. But here's the best part. In 2000, Denny Thompson and Jim Clyburn, the congressman from South Carolina, now number 3rd ranked Democrat in the House, and Greg Meeks of New York traveled to Havana to meet with Fidel Castro, the communist dictator of Cuba. Now, during those talks, Denny Thompson raised the fact that Mississippi was very poorly serviced by doctors. They just didn't have enough doctors for their poor rural communities. So Fidel Castro generously offered to provide medical scholarships in Cuba for young American radicals who wanted to experience the Cuban lifestyle and get a free medical education.
In the year 2000, IFCO was leading a delegation of Congressional Black Caucus members to Cuba to learn more about the reality there. And it was then that Mississippi Congressman Denny Thompson remarked about the incredible health disparities in Mississippi.
Estamos dispuestos a conceder un número de
I
becas
said, look, we are willing to grant a number of scholarships
para jóvenes
for youth
pobres de
from
su
your districts,
distrito
for youth from your districts
que no puedan pagar los
who cannot afford
$200,000
the $200
que cuesta una carrera universitaria.
So far, about 140 Americans have trained in Cuba. They are, of course, indoctrinated in the Cuban system. Many of these people are the sons and daughters of Communist Party members, like, for instance, Corey Marshall, the daughter of Scott Marshall, a leading member of the Communist Party, and North Dakota's Jack Lubka, the son of Communist Party member Louis Lubka. So these young radicals are now working in America, getting ready for whatever needs to happen should there be a revolution. Denny Thompson helped to organize this. Denny Thompson should be being investigated by the Homeland Security Committee, not chairing the committee in Congress. Another key member of the Select Committee is Zoe Lofgren from California. Now, she was a Trump impeachment manager. She was running the Democrats' attempt to impeach President Trump, the second attempt, I believe. She is very close to the National Iranian Action Committee. NIAC, as it's called, has been described on Iranian media as Iran's lobby group in America. It pushed hard to end American sanctions on Iran and to restore the American-Iran nuclear deal, which Biden has dutifully done. Zoe Lofgren has been fully involved in this. She's been involved in trying to end the sanctions. She also vocally protested Trump's so-called Muslim ban, which was actually a sensible precaution at the time to limit unvetted immigration from terrorist-prone countries. Zoe Lofgren has also received money from the Iranian American Political Action Committee.